All right, welcome everyone. We are going to be calling to order the Conference Committee on Senate File 4579, otherwise known as House File 4558, the Utility Billing and Shared Meter Buildings Bill.
It's a mouthful.
I can never quite get it right if I'm not looking at the words. I should say before we start that in accordance with the rules of the Senate, the following members will be participating remotely in today's hearing. We have Senator Port from Burnsville. I'll also say for the record, the time is 9:30 and we are in room G23 of the Capitol building. With that, Madam Co-Chair, why don't we start with some introductions?
Hello, everybody. My name is Athena Hollins. I represent District 66B, and I am the co-chair for this conference committee.
I'm Anna Borgerding, and I'm the House CA for the Judiciary Committee.
Hi, everyone. Sandra Feist. I represent 39B, and I'm super excited about this bill because it matters a lot to my constituents who are bringing this issue to me, and I'm really excited to be on this conference committee. Thank you.
My name is Harry Niska. I am in my first term in the Minnesota House representing District 31A in Anoka County.
Chair and members, Mary Davis from House Research.
Zach Meinertz with House DFL Research.
I'm Scott Dibble, State Senator and co-chair of this conference committee.
Alex Will, Legislative Assistant for Senator Dibble.
Ben Stanley, Senate Nonpartisan Staff.
Beth Ethier, the CA for Transpo in the House, or I'm sorry, in the Senate.
Bill Weber, State Senator, District 21.
Senator Port.
Senator Lindsay Port, District 55.
And over here we have Kylan Johnson, who's helping us with page duties. And anyone else from officialdom? All right. So with that, Madam Chair, I think the plan is we have Ron Elwood here, who is, I think, well situated, unless, I guess did we agree that Mr. Elwood would give us the 30,000? All right. So Mr. Elwood, who's been spearheading a lot of the stakeholder negotiations, welcome to the committee. If you could give us the flyover of the bill as it stands today. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we should adopt the amendment. What do you think, Mr. Stanley? Oh, there's a quorum. Thank you. Alex Will pulling together his first committee hearing, and he's doing a fantastic job. And keeping me on track. So why don't we put the bill in the order in which we want to consider it? So Madam Chair, would you like to move the A13 incorporating the A6 amendment to the amendment? Just that can, I think, maybe just one motion.
Right. Yes. So moved, Chair.
So Senator Hollins moves the A13 amendment.
Representative Hollins.
Excuse me, Representative Hollins. Didn't mean to demote you. So Representative Hollins moves the A13 amendment, incorporating by reference the A6 amendment to the amendment. Everyone understand? Anyone have questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Mr. Elwood, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Ron Elwood with Legal Aid. First, I'd really like to thank the committee chairs, the authors of the bill, Senator Dibble, Representative Hollins for carrying the bill. I'd also like to thank the conferees, Senators Port and Senator Weber, and Representative Feist, Representative Niska, for your interest in this issue, and hopefully for your support of the language, which does represent the global agreement among the parties. I'd also want to recognize the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission. Their staff was extraordinary in providing the space for us to hold the stakeholder meetings over the fall and providing technical assistance that has led us to where we are today. And in addition, I want to recognize the Attorney General's staff They were instrumental in enabling us to reach this compromise, and I really want to express my deep appreciation for the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, with whom we worked so hard to reach this agreement. And finally, I really want to give a shout out to Mary Davis, Ben Stanley, Anna Borgading, Alex Will, and Beth Ethier for their extraordinary help throughout this process. They're just, as you all know, absolutely amazing. So with that, let me provide an overview of the A13 amendment that you've adopted. So at the 30,000-foot level, this bill does two major things. It puts tenants in shared metered buildings in the same position as tenants in directly metered buildings and offers comparable protections for those tenants who now have none. Secondly, it gives the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission authority, including dispute resolution authority, in shared metered building situations involving gas and electric billing. And finally, it assures that tenants in shared metered buildings will pay only their fair share of utilities. To get a little more specific, I won't go into super detail, happy to answer questions, but just to give you a bit of some highlights, there are a number of consumer protections in this bill. So for the first time, tenants in shared metered buildings will have the same protections as those who get their service from regulated utilities. For example, the bill provides the right of tenants to enter into a payment agreement if they fall into arrears. And like tenants in directly metered buildings, tenants in shared metered buildings will now be protected during the cold weather period, during heat emergencies, and if they have a medical emergency. Further, tenants in shared metered buildings under this bill will pay the same rate that the housing provider pays for the utility. No markups. And except for small late fees and administrative billing fees, comparable to what the utilities charge for their fixed meters charge, there will be no other fees or charges added to the bill. The bill governs both submetering and apportionment of utility charges. And with respect to submetering, it requires meters in these shared meter billings to meet the same standards that regulated utility meters have to meet, and ensures that submeters are registering usage accurately. At the same time, it provides a process. If there's billing errors or metering malfunctions, it provides the process similar to what a regulated utility customer would have regarding overcharges, refunds of overcharges, and recovery of the landlord when the meters are malfunctioning that results in an undercharge. In addition, it requires any malfunctioning meters to be replaced or repaired promptly. And regarding submetering of electric service, it ensures that tenants will pay for what they use and share equally in the non-usage costs. The bill also ensures that where natural gas or water is apportioned, there is a uniform and fair formula used across the state that for gas is based on square footage and for water is based on occupancy. And importantly, it ensures that tenants will not be charged for common areas that are used by the housing provider, like an office for the management company, any vacant units, or in the case of water, for shared amenities like laundry rooms and pools. It also requires that the housing provider pass along to tenants any bill credits that the housing provider receives from the utility. And finally, it provides for the provision of various forms of information about what's on the bill, rights and remedies of tenants should they be unable to resolve any disputes about utility bills. And with that, Mr. Chair and members, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I really want to again express my appreciation to the Multi-Housing Association and for all of you for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Elwood. Members, questions at this point? Questions, comments, or other amendments? Representative Feist.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Elwood, for organizing these negotiations. I think this is so important. I met with a bunch of seniors at a facility with shared metering, and this was the issue that they raised, and they showed me their bills, and they were like, we don't know what they mean, and we've asked, and no one will tell us. And like, they were truly incomprehensible to me. So I just love on page 11, like how clear everything will be to the people, the residents. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything further, members? Representative Niska.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And my only comment will be to repeat what I said to you a few weeks ago and to both you and the Multi-Housing Association to salute you on really working hard on solving a real problem, both from the perspective of tenants and from the perspective of the housing providers, to provide some clarity in an area of law where there's not clarity right now. And this is a result of some really good work by you. And like I said before, that doesn't surprise me from my interactions with you and also from the Multi-Housing Association. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Chair Hollins.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Elwood, for all of your work on this. I truly, truly appreciate it. I know it's been a long, hard road. I had one question about, as you know, I had some meetings with third-party billers early on in this process, and I was wondering how involved they'd been in the stakeholder process.
Mr. Elwood.
Mr. Chair and Representative Hollins, when this issue this has been an issue that's been festering for years. And it came to a head recently when a case emerged where a third-party biller actually disconnected somebody's electricity. And as a result, we decided it was time to kind of tackle the big issue. And so what we did over the fall is to ask the PUC if they would provide some space, because what was happening was the PUC, the Department of Commerce, the Attorney General, all the utilities were getting complaints from shared meter tenants, and the answer from all of those entities was the same. We have no jurisdiction, we can't help you. And so we decided the best thing to do is to bring all the parties together and try to figure this out and identify, does everybody agree we had a problem to fix? And if so, then how do we do it? And so the PUC was gracious to give us some space, and we brought all of the parties, and we made it a very explicit, intentional effort to bring the third-party billers into that process. And so they were there from the beginning. We had extensive conversations with their representative, and a lot of this language here actually reflects the conversations and negotiations, discussions with the company's name is Sagility. They used to be known as JIT. They're probably the most prominent third-party biller in Minnesota. And so what you see in much of this is reflective of those conversations that we had with those folks.
Okay, thank you. Members, anything further for this part of the agenda? Okay, at this point, thank you, Mr. Elwood. I will invite anyone from the public who would like to step forward and provide any testimony. I believe, yeah, we have folks from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the conference committee. My name is Cecil Smith. I'm with the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. I've had the privilege of being involved in the negotiations along with my colleagues Todd Liljenquist and Kyle Burnt, who are here today as well. And I say a privilege because I got to work with the legend Ron Elwood. And it has been refreshing as someone who is concerned about the state of our democracy and how we do legislation. We have worked hard. We have worked towards compromise, and we have worked towards the benefit of our fellow citizens and stakeholders in this process. And it's been refreshing and encouraging that this process can work well when people have good faith and are committed to the task and are willing to make compromises. And we made compromises, and the other stakeholders made compromises reflecting our concerns, and we appreciate that. So we're grateful that we're here today. We're grateful that you have this piece of legislation in front of you, and hopefully we'll be recommending it to your respective bodies for passage. But I'm grateful, again, to my colleagues and also to my board. I've learned more about utilities and utility regulation than I probably ever wanted to know as a housing provider, representing housing providers. But I think that's been good for our industry because working with our board, we have dug deeper into this issue and understanding some of the practices of our vendors and what they're doing in the marketplace. And so I think that has brought more transparency and deeper understanding. And I think the residents of rental housing in Minnesota will benefit from this, as will housing providers. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Members, any questions for Mr. Smith? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, at this point, I'll ask the committee if they have anything further. Nope. I will ask the co-chair, the chair, to make a motion. And the motion would be to move Senate File 4579 as amended, and as a part of that motion to empower or request that staff be free to make any technical changes that might be necessary in preparing the conference committee report. And create a conference committee report.
So instead of me repeating all of that, I'm just going to say, that is my motion, Chair.
All right, any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries. Before I adjourn, I just wanted to express my gratitude as well to Mr. Elwood, to Mr. Smith, to the PUC, the Attorney General, the third-party billing providers. This draft has been, or this final product has been through many drafts, and that represents, I think, the best, as Cecil Smith described, in the give and take and compromise of policymaking. And I'm also really, really excited about this bill. Like Representative Feist, I think it will make a tremendous difference in the lives of a lot of people that we represent and care about. And so I'm really, really pleased with, and this is one of the bills that I'm most proud to be carrying this year. So I also want to thank, of course, we recognized and introduced everyone who helped pull this conference committee together. Mr. Will did a fantastic job on pulling his first ever committee from beginning to end together, so congratulations to you. Anything further, Chair? With that, we are adjourned. Thank you.